issues that touch on the lives of the common people of Meru. And I say that as a voter in this region and as a person who expects service delivery from both the governor and the representatives of the people in the name of MCS. I will address three issues that my learned friend has touched on, just to clarify. Then I will go straight to my closing remarks because I think most of the issues have been responded to in a substantive manner. One is on the much hyped China trip, where the governor is being accused of sending her relatives, and in the process funds belonging to the public were lost or misappropriated. Mr. Speaker, sir, your own document that has been tabled in this House by the mover of this motion is a letter dated 25th April 2023. That is the letter that was inviting the governor to the China trip. It was not an invitation for a technical committee. Let us be very clear on that, Mr. Speaker, sir. This is a letter that was inviting the governor to benchmark. This is a letter that was inviting the governor from a private company for her to be able to visit China and form an opinion as to whether there is need for her to borrow a few good practices from there and import them to Meru. There is no indication in that letter that indeed she should be joined by a technical committee. If you may allow me read, Mr. Speaker, sir, paragraph 1 says, "We are delighted to invite you and your distinguished members to visit us in China for you to witness and benchmark our state-of-the-art linear accelerator machines designed and manufactured in China in reference to our planned cancer treatment center in Meru." Mr. Speaker, sir, the mover of this motion should have indicated what was the essence of this visit. If governor chose to go to this visit alone, it would have still be within her rights. There was no requirement for her to go with any technical committee. It was not a study, a trip. It was an invitation for the governor to go and witness what is happening there and come back and commence the process of having a similar project in Meru. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, sir, the second last paragraph of that letter is very clear on who was footing the bill in this trip, and says, "You are expected to visit us in late May and June for a minimum of 1 week. We will cover all your expenses, that of your entire delegation in China, including travel, hotels, and meals." So how then can we fault the governor for using public funds in a trip that was privately funded by a private company in China that wanted to come and invest in Meru? Surely, honorable members, we are not being fair. This cannot be a ground to impeach a governor accusing her of misappropriating funds when there were no funds allocated or even utilized in this trip. On the other issue, my learned friend has told you about the naming of one road after the first gentleman. For clarity purposes, my learned friend Mr. Omari has not admitted, and I want that to go on record, that indeed there was a road named under or in the name of the first gentleman. What he's saying is the governor in her wisdom is allowed to do certain acts, but in this case we deny that there was any naming of a road. I was expecting the move of this motion to table evidence before this court that are in tandem with our statutes on how a road has been named. When I walk along the Meru streets, Nairobi streets, and any other street, there are clear signages that indicate Jorincheke Street, Moi Avenue, Tomboya Street. I invite the mover of this motion to show me one signage that reads Murega Baicho Road. None. So how is it that we are talking about naming a road that has not even been named at all? Where is that signage? Where is that instrument in the hand and seal of the governor naming that road, so that then we are able to accuse her of breaching the law. A Facebook extract is what was produced. The governor states that was just a humorous comment on social media. Does that constitute an executive order? Does that constitute a government directive? It does not. So we cannot then rely on social media extracts and then accuse the governor of having done or not done a specific act. Let that be clear. And I was expecting the mover of the motion to be able to do that. The other issue that I want to address before I go to my closing remarks is the issue of contempt of assembly. And allow me state this. This particular count does not exist under our statutes. I was expecting the mover of the motion to show us which particular standing order, which particular statute, which particular provision of the Constitution the governor breached by failing to appear before the House Committee. And at what point does failure to appear before House Committee amount to contempt of assembly? My understanding is that the governor was invited. She responded through a letter requesting for interpretation and proper application of Article 175 and 195, whether the Speaker can indeed summon a sitting governor. There was no response from the Speaker giving directions on whether it was provided for under the law that the governor could appear before the House Committee to answer to charges. In a proper setup, when there is a response to a summon, the person then who initiated the summons is expected to respond to that particular complaint or concern that has been raised.
Council Mukuma, please.
Yes.
Please allow me to inform you that the first letter that summoned the governor was signed by the Speaker, and nobody else has the powers to write a letter